All right, so for this exercise, we're going to use one of my favorite tools in Photoshop, which is the clone stamp tool. So this one is called Playground. Uh, Go ahead and open your Playground. All right, you got this nice playground, you got this big blue slide. None of these kids have been using the blue slide recently, so we are going to take it out to make room for some nice green open area for the children to play. So we're going to use the clone stamp, and we're going to get rid of it. So the clone stamp over here, super fun tool. The way that it works is if you hold the Alt key down, and you may not be able to see this in the video, but if you hold your Alt key down by itself, you're going to see your cursor change from a circle into a target, almost like a sniper scope. So it's going to be a smaller circle. It's going to have some lines that cross it. And what that is going to do is I want you to imagine as if you are using that crosshair to pick out a texture that you want. So if I hold down Alt, it turns into a crosshair, and I click on this green space back here. Wherever I start to paint, and you should actually be able to see the green space kind of following my cursor around now. Wherever I start to paint now, it's going to essentially copy the background in that location, and as I move my cursor to the right, whatever it looks like in this area where I first clicked, it's going to continue that same thing. You will likely be able to see some sort of cursor over here that's moving parallel to my cursor over here. So I'm going to jump over here. Can you guys see that there's a little cross that's moving? All right, and you can see as I'm painting, it's copying up and down in the same direction. So if I keep going up with this, see now I'm starting to get into where the slide exists over here. So you're going to have to go back and forth and kind of paint this to make it work for you. Now the real trick to this is learning where the patterns are. So you can see where this brownish green patch is over here. I want to continue that pattern all the way across here. So I might have to start and stop and come back to this pattern. If you look real closely, you can actually see where these patterns of pixels are lining up. You can see inside of my cursor here, I'm lining up that line of dark pixels in with the light pixels. Oop, all right, now I've gone too far back, and now I'm starting to pick that up. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to step backward on this one. Okay. But if I am, let's see, happy with my color here, I can go up here, start to copy some of the forest. Okay, and I keep going back over here because this is going to give me the most room to work with. This is, if I come over here, I have more space of green here than if I say start over here. I've only got a teeny tiny bit of space to green to move before I run into a blue slide again. So even though I'm repainting over this area, it's still going to copy what was there before I clicked. So I need to come back over here and paint. All right, and there you go. I've got a nice horizon line up here. Same thing moving down from the slide area. If I go down, it's going to copy whatever textures I have here. The real trick, again, is making sure that you're not going to pick up things that don't exist. Or at least that we don't want to exist anymore. Like I got that shadow right there. I got that post. Okay. One of the really cool tricks that I like about this is if you have something that's a hard line edge, just like this, the edge of like the wood chip bounds or something, if you put your cursor right on the edge of that target and then you move over, you can literally copy those exact pixels over to the right, and you can get a perfectly straight, nice, beautiful, clean edge all the way across here. And you can copy the shadow and the whole thing easily. No problem. Okay, line those pixels up. Keep doing what it is that you're doing. Ta-da! Okay, so you got a little bit of blue still here. You got all this stuff up here. For the trees up above, the big thing that you want to try to avoid is actually seeing a repetitive pattern, and that's something that can be pretty common in foliage. So my suggestion is to kind of pull, especially when you have like kind of like big blobby masses of shapes and things, is to kind of pull random areas and repaint randomly. Don't grab the same area every time. Don't start painting in the same area every time. And eventually you will get to where you want to be. Now, again, for my purposes, I actually have a red post right here. So if I come over here and I paint up a little bit and I get some foliage here around the tree, my plan is to start painting upward on this red post. Okay, I'm going to try to match up those red pixels again. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get some more greenery to fill in this blank. And essentially, this is like a multiplication effect. The bigger spot you give yourself to work with, the more space you're going to have. So, I can do this whole thing. Okay, I'm going to finish off with some more trees up here. Now, up close, this kind of looks like a mess. I'm aware of that. Okay? But let's see. I'm actually going to copy. I don't want to cover up these yellow bars, so I'm going to get this orange up here. Okay. There we go. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now it looks, again, like I said, or was starting to say, it looks kind of like a mess still up close. Back out a little bit. Go to the original size. Looks like a perfectly acceptable playground. Okay? So again, when you're finished with this, go ahead, type tool. Actually, I said don't put your name on a place on the last one that you just did. So I'm going to go ahead, write my name. I'm going to move it someplace else. All right. There, that blue stands out nice on that red and yellow. Okay? Don't forget to save it. Turn it in. One last thing, if you do, zooming out to here, I can kind of see a repetitive pattern down here in the grass. If that is something that's bugging you, don't be afraid to go back in with the tool, pick out a target area. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Go ahead and pick out a target area. Just kind of mess with it a little bit. Break up the pattern. Okay, no big deal. Make it a little bit more believable. All right. There you go. Okay. So again, name, save it, print it out, all that good stuff, and good luck.